I'm Will Miner. I'm here for mechanical engineering, and I'm from Sisters, Oregon, which is a small town in the middle of the wilderness of Oregon. Pretty cool. So in a typical week, depending on the weather conditions, I like to spend about 6 or 7 days outside. When it's sunny out, I like to go rock climbing or something like that for most of the days. If it's winter, I like to go snowboarding. So, my favorite thing to do in nature would probably be to go up into the mountains, because in the mountains, no matter what the weather is, there's always something to do there. So a great example of that is the Flatirons behind us. They're awesome for rock climbing, and there's forest there. You can go hammock camping, and I'm sure in the winter there's some way to snowboard in them. My decision to go to college around someplace in nature was definitely a huge influence. My options were Boulder was always kind of my number one, because it's in such an outdoorsy area, and the people here are typically into being active outside, and that is a huge role in my life, and it's a great way for me to de-stress. While I was applying to go to CU Boulder, I was definitely interested in the whole outdoor area. One of my friends actually brought me here to visit and took me up into the Flatirons to go rock climbing, and it really just sold me on it, knowing that there's such cool outdoor stuff to be in this area, and also so much of the school is focused around being eco-friendly and recycling and helping out nature. The time I was truly immersed in the natural world, there's kind of been quite a few. So back in my hometown, which is in the middle of nowhere, in just the forest and the mountains and everything, my friends and I always like to go out and camping, and we like to go, pretty much just go towards a mountain, climb it if we can, and get lost, and then camp. One of my favorite times was when I went with a friend of mine also named Will, and we went, the goal of the trip was to snowshoe up a mountain in the snow, camp somewhere on the mountain, climb the rest of it, and then snowboard/ski down. And conditions were terrible, and it was just Mother Earth trying to beat us down. And so we were on the top of this mountain, it was complete whiteout, and we're like, we might die. But it was a real connection moment of most people wouldn't be doing this up here, but we feel so at one with the earth, because we're up here and the mountain doesn't want us to be here. It was really kind of a cool moment that made me realize it's cool. I like it. So the opposite of nature, I have to say, would be big, densely populated cities. For me, I actually spent my middle school years and my 9th grade freshman year in Paris, France for 4 years, and that was not in my element at all. It's densely populated, where it's just super polluted and everyone smells terrible, and there's trains and it's too many cars and people smoking, and it's totally the opposite. So between the two environments, definitely the city and the densely populated away from the natural world took a huge toll on my emotional state and my stress levels. I always found myself super tired. I didn't want to wake up in the morning. I didn't really want to go to class or do anything. But another reason why I chose Boulder was because it's the natural world, and it makes me feel happy to get up in the morning. I'm excited for the day, and I just can't wait to be outside. So with my career, as I said, I'm here for mechanical engineering. Whether or not I continue with that path as a freshman, I'm not always 100% sure. I definitely want to do something that affects the outdoors in some positive way. Whether that's helping to create policies that protect our national forests and national parks and just places that are still wild, or whether that's actively developing things that make it so, for example, cars are so polluting, and just natural everyday things that we use are better for the environment. Yeah, so this is my wall for my dorm. It's pretty personal, because what I like to do when I go to some new place for me to just kind of make me feel more at home is to decorate it with stuff that represents me. So behind me is here's a map of Oregon where I'm from, but then behind me directly is a map of Colorado with all 56 14,000 foot tall mountains, or higher than 14,000 feet, marked out with a nail, because one of my main goals to do here while in college is to climb all of them. So they're all marked out with my bracelet hanging off the two that we're next planning to do. This wall is immensely important to me because it kind of represents who I am. So if anyone kind of walks in and sees it, it kind of gives them an idea of who I am as a person. As I mentioned, one of my goals is to climb all 56 of the 14ers. But beyond that, when I finish college, I'd like to finish that goal if I haven't already. And then me and a couple of friends want to try to do the 7 Summits Challenge, which is to climb the highest peak on every continent in the world, including Mount Everest. So that's a huge major goal of mine, and just kind of a lot of things like that to go climb in cool areas like Yosemite, which is up there, and my climbing area here, just kind of do some of the harder, more iconic routes. Thank you very much for having me on here. I really enjoyed it.
Sweet.